Well, hello and welcome to the online tutorial for ordering doors through JB Cutting. I am going to walk you through a number of slides just to give you a little bit of a fundamental understanding of how to order doors through JB Cutting. And I'll show you a variety of slides here that we'll go through, and I'll point you to some important tools, resources that'll help you. So to get started here, you'll notice the Benchmark Collection brochure, our brochure. You may have seen this before. You may have viewed it on our website, or in another way it might have been sent to you in a PDF. Inside of that book, I'm going to just show you page 2. You'll notice there on the top left side there's a door with, we focused in on a couple of different key areas that you want to pay attention to, and as we walk through this step by step, you'll see how these relate to the ordering process and actually filling out an order form. Page 3 is also a nice page to look at when trying to select your profile. You'll notice here we've got some illustrations. Some folks prefer to have an illustration as opposed to actually seeing the door. It just depends on your preference and what and how you're used to seeing that. But one thing that is nice about this particular page is you'll see on the left hand side there's all of the interior routes. The next page shows, or the next row shows some different perspectives on shakers and some contemporary fronts. And then on the right hand side we're showing you all of the S codes. We call those the S codes, the outside edges. So just a nice breakdown, illustrations, and like I said, it shows you every little dip and dent and detail of the routes, and those are very consistent as you'll find when you're ordering doors through JB Cutting. On the next slide, I'm just showing you the our color deck. This is new, actually. We came up with this not too long ago. It's got all of the colors that we offer. There are 45 plus colors currently in the deck. There may be more as time goes on here, but this is one resource. You can get these physically. You can also view a page that sort of serves the same purpose. It's just all of the colors laid out in kind of like a color palette scheme. Our swatch book, which is also in page format as well. But the deck is definitely the preferred way or source to select colors. It's got each individual vinyl piece. I mean, it is literally a piece of the vinyl, and it's going to be exact. It's going to give you a perfect representation of what the color is going to be like. Another tool you're going to need for ordering your doors is our order form. You'll see, just kind of glance this over, it's got a couple areas to fill in. Name, bill to, ship to, some different profile stuff we'll get into here momentarily. The shipping method you prefer, generally we fill that out for you or walk you through that as we work with you. But you also notice mullions down there and extras in the far right corner. Now I wanted to make sure I mentioned that all of these things that I've just explained to you are available on our website. You can always get digital copies of these. You can, at any hour or any day of the week that you might need it, simply go to the home page at jbcutting.com, and you'll see those tabs across the top. There's the products tab that I want to point you to first. Just above the emblem, the logo rather, see products as a drop-down menu that'll come down. The brochure is there. The swatch book is there. Okay, again, this isn't the actual color deck. Obviously, seeing it firsthand is preferred, but you can look through all the colors and see everything that we have. There's a couple colors that aren't there, but the vast majority of everything that we have is there. So, also, I want to point you to underneath that drawer bank. You see place order now. There's a link there you can click on. Also under that same products tab that we were just at in the bottom of that, there's place order now. If you click on that, it'll take a minute to load, but you'll get a PDF that'll pop up, and it will be that order form that we were just looking at. So, okay, so once that pops up, we've got this set up to where you can just go ahead and click. After you're done filling it out, you can actually click on email now, and that'll come directly to us. So it'll go into to your Outlook box. If you don't have that, there's a way to save it as a file, and then you can send it through another email client-based system you might use. If it's Yahoo or Gmail, you can still use it, but you're going to have to change how that saves. It'll prompt Microsoft Outlook. Okay, so here's the order form that I've started to fill out. I put a name in at the top here, ABC Corp, and so on, and a phony address here. And then the first step in filling out an order form is you want to identify your B code. And I've done that here. I put B200 and put just one quantity and then pick the size. But I wanted to show you, here's the door that we're gonna fill in the order form for. You'll notice here this is a pretty common door. We sell quite a bit of this, but I thought I'd use it as it's probably more likely to be relevant to you. It's a raised panel door. It's got a pretty standard square corner profile. It is called by part our B200 N400 S01. Now that's 3 codes in one, so it's one large code, and we've got 3 codes: the B code, the N code, and the S code. And we'll talk about that as we go through. Back to that same form here. You see that how it's noted again. You see the height, the width, all that's indicated. Nothing else here. I mean, generally, you had multiple doors in different sizes. You know, you'd use the rest of these lines. If you had mullions, you'd use that bottom block there. If you had drawer fronts, then you'd fill those in here on the right-hand side next to the door side. You'd also indicate whether you wanted them slab, whether you just wanted them flat, or you wanted them routered. You'd circle routered, or you'd star next to routered if you were emailing it. Routered is just going to mean it's going to match the raised panel if you were working with raised panel. So, and I'll just show you. This is just kind of a brief overview here of the different B codes. Now, I started with B codes because it is the most generalized code of the 3 codes. It really describes or indicates rather the kind of door that we're talking about. Whether we're talking about a slab door, whether we're talking about a raised panel door, or whether we're talking about a shaker door, will depend. I mean, the B code will indicate which of those. If you're, for example, if you're talking about a slab, you're talking about B100, a raised panel B200, and a shaker B600. Now there are mullions, there are different doors, arch doors, and so forth that would change that. But generally speaking, B100 refers to slab, B200 refers to a raised panel, and B600 refers to a shaker. Okay. Now that's not talking about the edge. That's not talking about what's going on in the center of the panel. That's just the style. So we're just talking about style. Just think of it as synonymous to those kinds of doors: shaker, raised panel, slab. Okay, and then we'll continue here. This is the next step. Now we've got the same exact form here and all the same information, but we're adding just the interior profile now at the top. And you see that it says N400 there. Again, we're going to order a N400 door, that door that that I showed you a picture of. Now, N400, we're talking about the interior route of the door. Okay, and we've established that we want a B200, we want a raised panel door. When we start talking about the inside profile, we're talking about what it will look like, what the routing detail will look like on the interior door. Now, again, I'm going to come back to this this illustration because you can really see from this the difference and what a 400 looks like as compared to a 401 or a 200 and on, just from the profiling. Now, as I said earlier, some people like the visual more than the illustrations. It just depends on how you like to view it and what you're used to. But the one thing that this won't show that the illustrations will is how that route affects the corners of the doors. The B300, or excuse me, the N300s, for example, all show more of a sharp corner panel as opposed to the 200s, which are going to be more of a rounded corner. just to explain that here just a little bit further, the N codes, now we're talking about 200 versus 300 versus 400 or 500. And now we've got 201, we've got 301, we've got 401, we've got 501, and on in higher numbers. But that first number, that 2, that 3, that 4, that 5, is talking about the number of times that the route passes through. So whether it's the route, literally the routing bit goes through the door around twice, it's going to be 200. If it goes around 3 times, it's going to be 300 of one of those in that series. N400 and N500, it's going to be 5 pass. So we're going to indicate that here on this particular order form, and you'll see that I've got the N400 up there at the top. Okay. Again, we're back to here's the door that we're ordering, and I'm just showing you some visuals here just to kind of explain that too a little bit further. The 200 here's got the rounded corners. You can see that. That's really clear from the picture. Here, this is a really good picture to look at here too. You talk about shaker. You're still going to have an interior an N code in here, okay, but it's going to be a little bit different on the style because this is a B600. But we've still got codes specifically for shaker panels. I'm not talking about the beads at all. I'm talking about the just that detail up there between where it goes from flat and goes into the center portion, the center panel. Another thing I want to point out too about the N code is when it comes to slabs. Slabs, obviously there's nothing here, there's no route. So the slab N code would be N000 or just nothing. You know, sometimes people will not even put anything in because they've already indicated B100, and it's sort of a pointless detail or a moot point to put that on there. So we're not doing that. We're doing this raised panel. It's B200 and 400, and the last code is the S code, the outside code. That's indicated here underneath the inside profile. If you see that where it says outside profile, that's S01. Okay. Now I'm going to use the that page 3 again because that really does a good job here, I think, of indicating that. Most of what you'll see in the brochure is the S01. It's the more popular profile, but we have a number of different profiles here for the outside edges. You can just kind of see those. They're all in sequence here: 1, 2, SO1, SO2, SO3, and on down to 11. And they've just got different details depending on what your preference is. Generally, in a raised panel, folks are ordering the SO1. So that's there. And that's it. So we've completed it. That's the door. The profiling is all indicated. Of course, the address. The only thing we haven't put in here is just the color and the back color. You'll see that below the outside profile. You've got your front color, which you have all of those 45 plus colors to choose from. The back color, you've got matching as a choice. You've got white, almond, black, depending on what your circumstance and need is. You'll just indicate that there on the backing code, or the backing color rather. Also going to point out a couple other things too while I've got this, got your attention here for a moment. There's the extras, the crown molding. These are all available and viewable in our brochure. Our top mount, face mount, small, extra, large face mount. And there are a few extras. If you're online, you can take a look at our new products, things that have come up since we've printed this brochure. And they're just additions. There's 2 additions to the crown molding offerings too. There are more things to see in the brochure, but just to point out a couple others too. There's the flutes, the wine racks, different details, and lots of things to look at. So hopefully that was helpful and gave you a good basis on how to order doors, kind of get you started. And certainly, should you have questions or needs or anything at all, we're here to assist you, and certainly happy to do that. but this might kind of help you along in the process, and I thank you very much.